Hey, nej, hello.
Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Hanging Out with Werkstatt.
Hanging out with working
Werkstatt. We are back, and today we have a special episode, and I love this topic.
And it's a hard topic.
It is hard, but it's fantastically entertaining to talk about it.
So we're going to discuss what are our top 5 best tunes ever.
Ever.
And not our own music,
No.
but music that we listen to.
Okay, so top 5, I mean, okay, it's difficult. I can name at least 100 songs.
That are top 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have to boil down, we have to really...
It puts things in perspective, because what do you really mean when you say the best tunes?
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? Is it the best songs from... I mean, is it the songs that we have listened the most to, or is it the songs that have affected us the most?
Yeah, and you have a lot of other aspects as well.
Yeah. Is it because we are impressed by the songwriting, or is it because we enjoy the song?
Exactly.
Is it because it makes us feel a certain way, or is it because we're just... Is it the production? Is it the... What is it? What is it we rate? Can you rate music this way?
Exactly.
I guess the answer is no.
Probably.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, we've made a list.
Yeah. If you were, you know, if someone put a gun to your head and forced you to make a list, you could make a list. You can list anything. So that's also the thing that makes this intriguing and interesting.
And also, you could make a new list for every year, or every 6-month period. But
Sure.
if you summarize 10 years, you could probably make a list based on the 10 years. And would that be a more honest list than just from 1 year?
How can you be honest, completely honest? Because a lot of stuff that you actually like, you would probably not like to admit that you like.
The guilty pleasures.
Yeah, guilty pleasures, but not only guilty pleasures, but there are tunes maybe in the same genre that may be cooler to drop.
Exactly.
As one of the top 5 on your list. So
exactly. So there's so much credibility in music. I mean, you could easily do this by just referencing to a Beatles song, a Bob Dylan song, some maybe 60s, 50s songs.
Yeah, and if you're cool, then you'll drop a rap song somewhere in there just to make it cool indie.
Exactly.
So we've tried to maneuver out of those kinds of way to think.
Exactly, and be completely honest.
Yeah. So this is a list that, I mean, we come from dance music and we've made predominantly trance. There are no trance tracks on this list.
No.
And that says a lot about trance, I think. Without further ado, let's get on with the list. So we'll discuss. Let's begin with your list.
Okay. Okay, so my top 5 list starts with number 5. It's actually COLDPLAY with Fix You.
Ooh, yeah.
The story behind this is I love COLDPLAY. Who doesn't love COLDPLAY? But the song Fix You, I've heard it and I love it, and then I saw them live in the Stockholm Globe. And when that guitar riff in the end starts, I got goosebumps all over my body. I almost cried. So I think that made a huge impression on me. Number 4 is a song by the Bee Gees called Too Much Heaven. I don't know why I love that song so much. It's just, it also resonates with me chord-wise, and it's not that, I mean, the lyrics, it's not that I'm religious or anything. It's just, it just makes me hopeful, and I think it's beautiful. And it's a slow song, and you know, it's a feel-good song for me, because I can, if I'm at home alone, if I'm starting up a barbecue or anything, I can just turn that song off, and it suits all my moods in some way.
Okay, that's cool.
So I can listen to it when I'm sad, when I'm happy, when I'm in the mood, when want to party, when I'm, you know, it's...
No, I can appreciate the Bee Gees, but it's kind of a blank spot for me because I never listened to it when I was young, or even now. So I don't have a relationship to the Bee Gees in that sense. But I hear that the tunes are very well written.
And the thing with Bee Gees songs is that they are very varied. I mean, there's the disco songs, and of course, but also in the 80s they had these huge drums, you know, Win Again and those kind of songs.
Simmons,
exactly. And
Thomas,
very big songs, and so I think they covered it all, and they just make me happy.
Yeah, cool. So number 3 then.
Number 3 is a very special song. It's maybe not what you expected, but it's actually a Nickelback song called Something in Your Mouth.
This is interesting because Nickelback has a lot of haters.
Yeah, a lot of haters.
Yeah.
I mean, even among...
They're kind of a meme.
It is. Which I find very strange because I listen to rock music. I've been to Sweden rock festivals many years. I enjoy listening to rock music, and I get that whole thing. But it's a lot of hate towards Nickelback, but I think it's because of the guys in the band, or first and foremost, Chad Kroeger, the singer.
I could probably imagine that it's has to do with that the production quality is so high, because it's extremely impressive.
It is.
I mean, it's out of this world. So, from a technical point of view, and maybe that alienates a lot of people.
I think you're onto something there. I think it's so streamlined. It's well written songs. The production is excellent. The mixing is top notch, and I think maybe rock fans think that it's too much
Studio work.
Yeah, probably. But then they wouldn't like Toto on the other hand. But Toto is a
But
live
they don't.
band.
They hate Toto. A lot of people also.
You think so? No,
Yeah, for
I
the
don't
same
know.
reasons. Yeah.
Toto has much more cred, at least, than Nickelback.
Yeah, today, but maybe not 15 years ago, but today, yeah, sure. So, well, maybe with time, Nickelback will get the reputation they deserve.
Yeah.
So, with that said, let's go on to number 2.
Yeah, number 2 is KEANE with Everybody's Changing.
Oh, that's a great song. Yeah, I'm frustrated because I didn't include that.
No, it's just one of those songs that I think was maybe written in heaven, if I would believe in heaven. But
everything changes.
Everybody's changing.
Everybody's changing. That's it. Okay, yeah.
It was on par with Somewhere Only We Know.
Somewhere Only We Know. Yeah.
Somewhere Only We Know.
I would put that above.
Many people do, and if you look at Spotify streaming, that song is much higher than Everybody's Changing. And I agree, it's a fantastic song. I could put it on my list.
But I know there are a lot of people who praise that song that you chose.
Everybody's Changing. Yeah. I think it boils down to just what you prefer in a song. I think it's fantastic. It's just it's one of those songs that when the guys wrote that song, I would have wanted to be a fly on the wall and just see what their reaction was when they played it.
So, but they're an interesting band because they have an interesting setting. They don't have any guitars. It's just piano, bass, and drums and vocals, of course.
No guitars.
That's kind of unheard of.
That's strange.
Yeah. Are we at number 1?
We're at number 1 now.
On the list, okay.
And that is Fall Again with Glenn Lewis. You never heard it? I never heard it. I think you've heard the song. You've definitely heard the song. It's just that it's not the most famous song. It doesn't come to mind when you think of it.
That's your number 1 song.
That's my number 1.
That's so
I've
cool.
even said to my wife, that's the song I want her to play when I get buried.
Okay, yeah.
I think it's the most beautiful song I've ever heard in my life. It's just a R&B soul ballad, more or less.
Okay.
It was actually that song was a soundtrack to a Jennifer Lopez movie called Made in Manhattan.
Okay.
When she starred in the movie.
All right. Cool. Well, I don't have that much to say about it, but it's amazing that and this is the tune that you would choose as the best tune for you.
Yeah, it's just
on the top 5 list.
Yeah, I think so. It's just resonates very well with me, and it's so emotional, I think, and when I listen to the song, it really touches me.
Okay. And did you hear it the first time in the 90s?
No, way late. I mean, many years after it was released, I think.
Okay.
I can't really recall, but...
Cool. And if you're interested in these songs that we are talking about here, we have a Spotify playlist called Werkstatt's Best Tunes Ever that you can look for on Spotify and follow if you like it. Number 5 on my list is Human Nature by Michael Jackson.
Tell it that it's human nature, why? I'm maybe surprised that it's not higher.
Yeah, I think the entire Thriller album would be a contender to be on the top 5 list. You could make the top 5 list only with the Thriller songs. It's an excellent album, I think.
And it's no wonder it sold like the most selling LP ever made.
No, it's for a reason. And I think a lot of it has to do with Quincy Jones. And as we touched upon, it's also a matter of vocal quality.
It is.
I mean, Michael Jackson can turn any song into a great song. So say what you will about Michael Jackson, but that's the fact. He was an amazing vocalist, and he could turn anything into gold, I think. Yeah. And for me, Human Nature is the song that is the best song on the album. And an interesting fact about that particular song is it's written by the guys in Toto.
Oh, Toto again.
Yeah. So it's not written by Michael or Quincy, it's written by Toto.
But it's produced by Quincy Jones. Yeah,
it's produced by Quincy Jones, and without Michael and Quincy, it would probably not be as big as a hit as it was. So, but it's a go-to song for pretty much anything. I think you mentioned one of your songs was one that you used for any kind of mood. Yeah. And I think this one fits that description as well for me.
So number 4 then.
Number 4, you may have heard it, you may not have heard it. Number 9, Dream. I don't know if you should call it Dream Number 9 or if it's called Number 9 Dream, but it's a...
Wow, interesting, because I cannot recall listening to it. I probably heard it, but I can't recall.
Yeah, it's very dramatic. It has kind of a 70s spooky ambience to it. The chords are very weird, and it's a lot of backwards strings, you know, that kind of almost Strawberry Field-ish ambience to it. And I listened to it a lot when I was a kid, because my mom got the album, because she's a big Beatles fan and even bigger John Lennon fan. And so I grew up with it, and I've listened to it, and it has some kind of magic effect on me. I transcend into this weird ghost-like state when I hear it.
But what is it that makes it so good then? Is it just emotions, or is it just nostalgia, or is it something?
I picked out 2 things that I think make the track what it is. Because it's not John's vocal, because he ain't that good of a vocalist, even though he's good. But it's the string arrangement and the chords. And it has a mystery to it that I don't know why it appeals to me. But I know a lot of musicians like that song.
Okay, so it's time for number 3.
Yeah. And it's the first dance track on either one of our lists, I think. Because, I mean, in terms of EDM, at least. And it's All Right by Urban Soul. Oh. Urban Soul, or Roland Clark, as the guy is called. He's an American DJ. I think he is from New Jersey, I'm not sure. He could be from Chicago, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think he's from New Jersey.
If you know, write it in the comments.
Yeah, Roland Clark. I mean, the song is just a very classic house tune with melancholic chords and melancholic vocals. Yeah. And
it sounds very you when I think about it.
Yeah, it does. It's very urban. It's very. I like that kind of vibe when it gets urban. It's the soundtrack of my nights as 18, 19, 20 years old guy in a small town in Sweden, where we didn't have any clubs that played any good music, and I just went out at night in my car, a Saab 900 Turbo, by the way, and I listened to this song very loud on my Alpine stereo, and I drank myself away to bigger cities and cooler music. And it also is one of the tracks that made me. It's one of the tracks that made me want to get into dance music. Because it's house at its finest. Number 2.
Number 2.
Auf meinem List. Meinem? I'm not sure. German viewers. Okay, so number 2 on my list is a classic soul tune. It's Ooh Child by the 5 Stairsteps.
Ooh child,
things are gonna get easier. Fantastic track, and as many others probably did, I discovered it by watching the wonderful movie Boys in the Hood. Wonderful, it's a tragic movie, but it's a great movie, and the soundtrack just fits the action like a glove. And I don't know many other soul songs that are as heartfelt or as touching as that one. It really feels that they mean what they are singing, and I love those 70s kind of dry drums.
Yeah.
And the guitars and everything, the way it's mixed, it's just...
I remember one day coming home to you, and you had this song on repeat.
Yeah.
And you said, oh, listen to this, isn't it great, isn't it fantastic? And I in some way realized that it was a great song, I liked it, but I wasn't that hooked into it as you were. But now I realize that.
So that leaves us with only the number 1 left. And I think you would be surprised.
Exciting, number 1. Drum roll, please.
I've chosen Wuthering Heights by Kate Bush.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of unexpected, maybe.
Very unexpected.
Yeah, but I think it's the pinnacle of British pop and rock culture to some extent. I think the song is obviously brilliant. It's unconventional. The chord progression is weird as hell. And her voice is weird as hell, but it's still appealing in some way. It's very theatrical, it's very dramatic, it's very spiritual in a way. The lyrics are cool. If you know anything about the song, it's based on a novel by Emily Bronte, which makes it even more cool when you know that.
It is a very special song.
Yeah.
It's one of those songs that make you think, how did they come up with this song?
It's a mystery.
It doesn't sound like someone sit down with a piano and figured the song out.
I think she wrote it herself at 16 years of age.
Wow.
The musicianship on this track is also extremely impressive. The bass is sick. I mean, the bass line, I think the producer himself played the bass on the track.
But the most important thing I would say about that song is her vocals. I mean, you couldn't replace her.
No, and that's a very interesting thing that we've come to the conclusion that's the thing that matters kind of the most in all of these songs that we have listed. The vocal performance is crucial to all of these tracks.
Yeah, definitely.
And a good vocal can make a hit out of nothing. So if anything, that's something to take with you from this little session, is that the vocal performance is obviously very important for the song.
That was my top 5 and your top 5.
Yeah.
Our top 10s.
And if you have a top 5, please list it down below.
Yeah. And don't be shy, criticize us, tell us we're wrong.
Also, you can find all of these songs on our Spotify playlist that we mentioned earlier. The name of it is right there.
There.
Yeah, there.
No. Can you see? Don't miss it.
Oh, okay.
Bye.